Hello, friends. Welcome to the YO Unicorn Lens podcast, where we look at life with fresh eyes through the lens of infinite possibility. My name is Marcy.
And I'm Joanne.
Together, we will be dreamstorming and talking about co-creating with the universe in order to live the life of our dreams.
And action.
All right. Hey, Joanne.
Marcy.
We are going to be talking with our BFF, Sheri Salata, today.
Woo!
So Sheri Salata is a self-proclaimed transformation doula, professional storyteller, and world-class producer. She is the founder and CEO of the support system that we talk about all the time. It is a membership group for women who are dedicated to creating life transformation. She's also offering acclaimed courses and retreats around the world. Her memoir, The Beautiful No, is an Amazon Editor's Choice Best Memoir and Apple Must Listen to audiobook.
So Sheri spent 20 years in the land of Oprah, finishing that glorious run as the final executive producer of the Oprah Winfrey Show, president of Harpo Studios, and president of OWN, as captured in the cable hit series Season 25, Oprah Behind the Scenes. She spends her time today manifesting the life of her dreams. That's what we're all about, appreciating every minute of the joy ride she's creating and calling in what's next. And so we hope you enjoy.
Here we are, our friend Sheri Salata.
Hey. Hi.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, hi.
Hi.
We're
Thank
so
you
excited.
so much.
We're
for
together.
joining us.
Thank you. We really
You guys.
appreciate it.
Of course. Of course. This is so fun, you guys. Okay, let me take a little sip of water.
We talk about you all the time. You have no idea how you have changed our lives.
I'm so glad.
You know, if there was a MVP award for 2021, you would be, well, besides me and God, you would be my MVP.
Woo! That's
Yeah.
a good lineup. That's a
Yeah.
good lineup. I'll take that. I'll take that, my friend.
Yeah.
How's the podcast going?
Good. So we actually decided to do a podcast because of your podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Sheri and Nancy show?
Yes.
Yes. Nancy and I were just texting each other. She's like,
Yeah.
I wish we were doing the podcast. I'm like, I don't.
You don't miss it.
Well, I miss the listeners. I mean, that was
Yeah.
super fun. It was a lot of work for me to do that.
Yeah. Well, what
You know.
you're doing now is amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
I really like what I'm doing now.
I'm just super grateful for the group that we've got, because I feel like they're like close friends. I was telling Joanne, like they're like best friends. And people I don't even know, like I haven't met them, but I
know.
feel
It's-
like they are my soul sisters.
They are, and it is true. And again, I can't totally explain it, but it is magic. It's magic that's going on. And with every cohort, there's going to be more and more and more people that you can lean into like that.
So what made you decide to do that, to put this group together?
What made me decide? Well, honestly, it was this, the string of coincidences and synchronicities as our lives can be when we're in the flow. I knew I didn't want to do the podcast anymore. I knew I could feel a yearning or kind of like an inner call to service, but I wasn't really sure what it was. And I because of my memoir, I was guesting on lots of podcasts, and I had been doing that for the last few years. And I came across Kathy Heller and Do Quit Your Day Job. And she booked me on her podcast. And afterwards, she's like, can you get on a call? And I'm like, sure. And she said, you really need to be teaching. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And I sat with that for a while, and I thought, why am I so resistant to that? And really what it is, it's different than teaching, because that really isn't what I'm doing. It's opening up my exploration of this path of transformation and inviting other people to come along with me. And we're all at different places on the road, which was what makes it so interesting. And so I started with the course, which I did the first group last January. I'll do the third group this January. And every time I did one of those workshops, I was like, yep, this is it. I love this so much because I am changed by it.
Mhm.
I am uplifted by it. This is my medicine. And so if it's my medicine, then maybe it's good medicine for other people too. And so then things just kind of started snowballing. Like, what are we going to do now? Well, let's do a private membership. What else are we going to do? Who wants to go to Italy with me? You know, it's one of those kind of things. It's super organic.
Mm.
And I lean, you know, as I say, that the big lesson for me is I keep leaning in the direction of what feels good.
Mm.
And I turn, you know, I bless and turn away from the direction of what doesn't feel good. And as long as I just adhere to that simple policy, I'm good.
Yes, you're on your journey and you inspire us while we're watching you, and we feel empowered like we can do it too.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
it's just we kind of feed off each other.
Are you changing anything in the different cohorts?
Well, here's what's so amazing. I moved some chapters around. I moved some of the readings around in cohort 2. The second time I did it, I'm like, yep, I'm going to move some very, very minimal changes. But what happens is, because the people are different, the experience, it's in the same lane, but it's different.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh.
So it's the people, you know, the people who come, they are the ones contributing their energy and their questions and their longings, their heart's longings. And so remarkably, which is what it's so fun for me, it's different, but it's like in the same family.
Yeah, so it gets to evolve as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
different. I'm
yeah,
different, you know, I'm different than the woman who wrote The Beautiful No. And I'm different than the woman who led cohort 1, because I am impacted and expanded by all those experiences, just like
what
you are.
Yes.
how do you balance your personal and work, since it's
Yeah.
all seems like it's all mixed in together, but
Yes.
how do you do that balance?
Well, it's so interesting. I mean, that was an issue that used to bring me a lot of shame when I was running the Oprah show, because, you know, I just worked constantly. I worked 7 days a week and long days, and didn't have a ton of time for things outside of that work. And so it felt like I was judging myself for being unbalanced. But what I realize is, you know, I throw away the old patriarchy and, you know, like separating things into little buckets. I'm not interested in that. What I realized is, what I want for myself is an integrated life. Like, you know, we're having this conversation. This is classified as work for me, right? But is it? Is this work, or is this just a lovely part of my day where I get to have a conversation about the things that matter most to me? And you know, when I'm done, I'll start getting ready, and getting some things made and get ready for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Maybe I'll wrap a present or two, and then I have another meeting. So it's just how I like it. It's integrated. I feel like my life is very integrated. I'm not trying to keep everything so even and and separate.
I love that. I'm really wanting that kind of life. You know, I was telling Marcy the other day, I'm starting to think about lifestyle design. Like, how do I want to live my life?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what would be nice is if I had like 40 hours dedicated to exploration and learning,
Yeah.
and maybe 30 hours work, you know, but
Yeah.
I want it all together.
But maybe that exploration and learning is a part of your work in the world. I'll tell you the turn I made. I don't try to like figure it out quite that way anymore because it gets me in a bit of a tangle. I'm at odds with myself. But what I do want to do is manage my calendar, because I want to make sure, you know, I have my estimable practices, those practices that make my life better. I want to make sure I have time to do those. And so I now calendarize that because it's so much better for me. If it's otherwise I get booked on things, and next thing you know, it's like, when am I doing my triangle breath? When am I going to say my mantra? And that comes first. You know, I want to make sure I have time for that. And then I decided this. Now I'm an entrepreneur, so I can make this decision. If you're reporting for duty somewhere, this is a little bit more difficult. I don't schedule meetings on Mondays or Fridays anymore. And I had to go, you know, to anybody that I was doing that with and say, I got to make a change, because those are days that I just want to make sure I have time to like do some visioning, you know, or nothing if I so choose. Just putter around if I so choose. And also getting really good on those yeses, which is if somebody's asking me to do something, like now it's whatever time it is now, 3 months from now, I pretend like I would have to jam it in the next 2 days. Are you still saying yes to that? And if the answer is no, then don't say yes to it for 3 months from now, because you're going to get that feeling like, why did I say yes to that? So that's really, that continues to be where I'm sharpening my saw, really getting good at my calendar, because the calendar is kind of my life plan, how it's going to unfold every day, and really getting good on those yeses and better on those nos.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. That's so good, because I'm the same way. Like, I have to put that in my calendar. Just that's my way of honoring myself.
Yeah. So then, you know, don't book anything before this time, and don't book anything after this time. You know, don't get yourself overscheduled. That's really great. My best advice for right now.
Well, we introduced you to everyone as a transformation doula, and I love that title. So do you want to talk about that? What is transformation doula?
Yeah, transformation doula. I was trying to think about, you know, because again, like I said, you know, I love, you know, the word guru is also the word teacher in the Eastern tradition, but it's gotten a little screwy here in the Western culture. So guru doesn't really feel good, and teacher doesn't really feel like um, exactly quite right. But as I'm doulaing my own transformation, what it seems to be is I can plant some seeds or light some little fires inside somebody who's ready to start walking on the path and really ready to take their life into their hands. And like you were saying, Joanne, design your life. You're ready to do it. You understand nobody else is coming that's going to do it for you. Even if you've been waiting and hoping, you don't want the crowd making decisions for you. You want to become your own best life manager, your trustworthy steward of your life experience. And so when you want to do that, I've made enough mistakes. I've done things the hard way so many times that I feel like I have some things to say about that might be helpful, and that might either save you some time or help you remember your own knowing, the knowing that you have about what's right for you.
Yeah. So people can find out a little bit about what that journey is like with you with this upcoming 5 days, right?
Yeah, it's 5 days.
5 days.
Yes.
And then what happens after that? What happens?
Well, listen, I love doing this challenge because I feel like that's an offering. It's free. It's 5 days. It's an hour a day. And I just start stirring the pot. I just start stirring the pot. I start trying to get you to think about things differently. I start offering some ideas for a different way of how to manage your life or look at your life or dream about your life. And from there, the people who are really, really interested, I want to make sure that everybody who shows up for that, and that's a worldwide event. So I want everybody to leave with good things. You know, I want their time to have been worth it. And so I work my little heart out over that. And then the cart opens, registration opens for my 12-week program, which we were talking about earlier, the course, which is Write Your Story, Transform Your Life. And that's the 12-week, 2 workshops a week, yummy, delicious, barely can describe it because it's so magical, really. It's like the superpowers of the other side come in and meet us. And it's this powerful brew of possibility.
So we were in your first cohort with
Yes,
Joe
you were.
and I really thought I was signing up for something to help me write a book.
Yeah.
That was my idea at the beginning. Oh my goodness. And it was so much more than that. What
it is, but you could write a book now.
Yes, yes, but
could.
It was so much deeper than that.
I know. You could write a memoir now. And that was one of the things is I got so much from writing my memoir. I was like, oh my God, this has turned into a healing journey.
Absolutely.
So I try to, everything I learned about writing a memoir, I pack that in the course, because some people are bloggers, some people want to be bloggers or want to write a book someday. And so I'd like to make sure that you have those tools as well. But yeah, it's so much more than that, isn't it?
It's like a complete transformation. And
well, what would you say? You guys tell me, how has your life been? What would you say? What did that experience do for you?
Listen, I decided that I was only going to do what I want. Say yes to the things that I want and no to the things that I don't want. Mm-hmm. Gave myself permission to do that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, that's my promise to myself. I will always take the time to like check in with myself and honor by doing that.
Well, I think what struck me most was the group of people, you know, that all were interested in transformation. And I'm like, oh, there's so many people out there that are like me, you know, and we can have this conversation. And like, you know, Sheri, you on your podcast, you guys used to always say, it's the only conversation you want to have. And I'm like, yes, that is it. And I think taking the steps towards the dream, you know, just that moving the stuff from the someday list to the, okay, what can I do today?
Let's get cracking.
Yeah, that can move. And it's like, it snowballs, like going to Italy. You know, staying in Italy for 2 months is our dream. And then I'm like, how do you even start that? And I'm like, oh, well, let's just look at places and see. I'm like, oh, you know, the cost is not impossible, you know, and it just kind of,
it snowballs. I know. You know what it is? Here's what I feel like watching you guys go through it, because as you're going through it, I'm going through it with you in a different way, because I'm also seeing you. I'm seeing your faces change. I'm seeing your energy change. I'm seeing you releasing things that have kept you stuck. And in the end, what it is it's like you're almost like it's like a reboot. You're recalibrated to see that, oh my gosh, there's so much more left to do. And life is still so exciting. And I want to get all the juice out of it. I don't want to leave any juice in that fruit. That is my life. And all of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden you live on the sunny side of the street. And the more you stay there in that place of potential and possibility, the more things start happening, the more opportunities start coming your way. And before you know it, it's like for most of us, it's just gradual, little bit every day, little bit every day, little bit every day. And you look back and say, I look back right now and say, oh my gosh, my life is completely different than what it was a year ago. Completely different. Everything I'm doing is so different than it was a year ago. And I was on the path.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's good. It's all good. It's all good. It's clearer. There's more clarity. It's sharper. It's more fulfilling. It feels more on purpose. And when you think about it, I mean, listen, I remember sitting in the control room of that Oprah Winfrey show, running some fabulous show that I knew was going to like be really like shift the world a little bit. And feeling so on purpose, like, wow, I am in my purpose right now. I know how to do this. And I know how to join with this team to make this happen. And I will tell you now, I feel more on purpose now than I did then. So I can't even imagine what we'll talk about if we meet a year from today for all three of us. Right. What we're calling in, what we're going to manifest. I can't even imagine what it'll be.
There's a magic in being part of the group. This is another theme that I love about your group, is when we come together and we share our hearts.
Yeah.
And I can see someone and I can see their beauty. I can see their soul, right? They just bear it. Yeah. And by me seeing that in them, I can see me and them. Yeah. And it's just, I just love that. It's the community that I want.
Yeah.
So
it's really good. How about you, Joanne?
Yeah, it's a lot of the same. I feel it's so comfortable being in that space. And I think, when you talk about how I love how things happen organically and there's not a sense of striving. I'm more of a type B personality. I'm not the go-getter at all. But I appreciate that slow pace with purpose though, and to see that it boggles my mind that what you just said about the feeling on purpose, because you had a lot of impact. And I mean, and you
and
think,
still
what could top that? I
know. And what could top this? I can't imagine. I know. I mean, what you guys are talking about too in the support system, that was in the middle of our cohort, in the middle of, gosh, it was probably March of last year when I said, what are we going to do after this? And then I'm like, well, I need to start a membership group where we can like have an ongoing conversation. It'll be different than the intensity of the course, but it will allow us to just keep looking in the mirror. Like you were saying, Marcy, keep looking in the mirror, keep looking in the mirror. Every time you read a post from somebody, they're on the path, you're reminded. Every time you show up for an event or workshop in the support system, you're reminded. I mean, that's the ongoing, that's like daily vitamins. That's how I see how I see that platform is you take your vitamins, you take your supplements to stay sharp. You've done a lot of that excavation, and you've made so many shifts. Now, how do you keep it going? And how do you stay on course? And for me, it's knowing that I have a place that's part of my morning routine, along with my triangle breath and some meditation. And my candle ceremony is I go check in the support system. I make sure I've read a few posts. I take that in. I think about this energy that we're creating together. I think about that. I call in some of that into my experience for the day, and I make it a part of my ritual. And so, and the occasional day, the rare day when I don't, it'll be 4 o'clock, and I'm like, ooh, I didn't do my best with this day. This day was not as joyful as I like, and I'll walk the cat back, as Martha Beck would say, and I'll see that I didn't really lean into my esteemable practices that morning, or around, like, late morning. I didn't get it done. And those are the things. It's like, come back to center, come back. Where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? And it turns out that those little things are the things that are shifting my life in the most dramatic ways. And I'm sure that's true for you too.
Yeah, yes. I've learned a lot about rituals from you, and I've adopted some of those for myself. So what are the things that you just are musts for your day?
Well, listen, I stumbled upon that triangle breath mantra meditation. I added the mantra to it. I think somebody taught that to me a long time ago, how to hold for 5 count, inhale 5 counts, hold for 5 counts, exhale for 5 counts. And that you're almost building a little triangle. And what I realized is, if you do that, like with real intention and a little bit of force, like you're sipping, inhaling and exhaling through a straw, that you literally can change your internal energy. And then when I added a mantra to it, like one of my favorites, I'm willing to see the possibilities, that in about 2.5 minutes, I could come up with a practice that I could do anywhere, in a taxi. I could do it, on my front porch. I could do it in line at a grocery store, and just kind of go inside. And in 2.5 minutes, I could come back to neutral, regulate my energy, kind of like shake off any bad energy I've picked up, shake off any unhelpful story I'm starting to spin in my own mind, and just come back to what I know is important. So that's a big one for me. I do like to meditate. I've been trained in transcendental meditation, which is 20 minutes. I like some Dr. Joe Dispenza guided meditations. I do some of those. And I'm a candle girl. I am a candle girl. I have candles going, until I go to bed. And that I feel like that flame, it's just a subtle reminder as I walk through my home that it's about illumination, that I'm always calling in the light, that I always want to call in more light, that I always want to reflect that light back. So those are really big ones. Big water, filtered water, got to drink a ton of it.
Yes,
None
no
of us
poop
are
water.
enough of it. No poop water. Telling you, filter that water. You read any study of what's really in the tap water, you would not. So, and none of us are drinking enough. You got to drink half your body weight in ounces. And lots of plants. I live a plant-based, I have a plant-based diet. And even for people who don't, you got to get more plants in your life. And all those little practices, those little caring practices, whether you have a little bathing ritual, or preparing your food for the week ritual, or, the truth. I talk about ceremony and ritual all the time, as you were saying, because we're doing them all the time. Your life is filled with rituals and filled with ceremonies, but they're unconscious.
Yeah.
There's the ceremony of complaining until everybody joins in. There's the ritual, right? Right?
Yes.
There's the ritual of, let me think, what's another good one, of just getting up, slogging to the coffee machine, you know, getting yourself all dialed up on caffeine without one conscious thought. There's that ritual. You know, there's the ritual of leaving all your dirty dishes in the sink at night. And then in the morning, you're like, hey, my life's bad. Look at that. There's all, all those, your life is filled with practices.
It is.
So choose them,
Oh my
choose them,
gosh.
make them deliberate and conscious, and watch what happens.
I think you just blew my mind, because that's true. They are rituals.
Yeah.
Why would we choose that?
Yes. Well, because
No,
we're not
we
really
just do it.
choosing. We're just on
Unconscious.
autopilot. We're scrolling.
Oh my
I
gosh.
did this thing last night. I picked up my phone and I do love animal videos, and I can get, but oh my God, like baby elephants chasing butterflies. I just, but I got on this tear where I think I was on Instagram, and it was like scroll, 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 scroll. I swear to you, this is so rare for me. 30 minutes had gone by and I just dropped my phone like a hot potato. I'm like, what are you doing? This is not curated. You followed a bunch of things that aren't helpful. This is not curated, which is why I love the support system, because that is curated content.
Yes.
You are not going to see anything that makes you feel bad about your body or, you know, shames you in any way. You're going to see things that encourage you,
Right.
that tell you you can do this. You can do it. It's the little shifts. So yeah, so that was a ritual I did last night. Wasn't a good one.
Oh my goodness. And it's all practice. I feel like, you know, I catch myself so many times doing things like that, or where did the time go? I'm just like off in Wonderland, but it's just practice, and it doesn't take any I'm learning any other effort to just recommit.
Yeah.
Forget the blaming and the shaming and the guilt. Just decide. Okay.
Well, that the blaming, the shaming, the guilt is a slippery character habit of letting you continue to be unconscious. You know, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. This is what bad people do. You know, so you're right. Forget that. Get your feet back on the path and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you were doing the Oprah show for so long. Do you have a favorite show? Like, which is your favorite?
Oh, well, would this shock you to know there's a lot I can't remember, because it was like a whirlwind.
A hurricane.
There was a whirlwind, but of course I most remember the ones that I executive produced because I was so focused on them. So I would say most memorable, it's still pretty much the most memorable. I would say it was the big extravaganza at the United Center that we did at the end of the show, the end of the final, it was part of the final 3 days before
oh my gosh,
the series finale. And because it was impossible. It was so hard. It was so hard. We had no time. And we were putting that together while we were doing our full-time jobs, you know, taping 6 episodes a week. So it was impossible. There were very famous people who had done big, huge award shows who said, this is impossible. And I was like, well, we're doing it. So we'll figure it out. But it was so hard, and it came out. It was just the crew, the team. Ooh, it's perfect. So that's my favorite, because I know that there were little elves of the universe helping us with that.
Yeah.
That is my favorite too. Like I will cry every time that Kristen Chenoweth
oh God,
does the song, and the men from
House Men.
Yeah, come down
the
aisle. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I
know. That's one of my personal favorites too. That moment, because it was so real and so true. And I think for people watching around the world, you know, you knew that Oprah was generous, but then you got to see it.
Yes.
And that was just a little something. And you got to see what it meant to her for
Yeah.
them to acknowledge and share their life-changing. It was really something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. I get missed you thinking about it.
I know.
It was a
Me
big one.
too. It's like, oh, what a moment. I love that moment. Oh. Okay, Sheri. Well, we want to give you some time to just tell people how to find you.
Yeah, well, you can always find me at sherisalata.com, SHERISALATA.com. And you can, I also have a private Facebook community, the Sheri Salata community, and you can request to join that. The big thing though is you got to come to the free challenge.
Yes.
Write your news story 2022. And I think that link is sherisalata.com/challenge.
We will share it on our Instagram again.
Yes. And you guys just come, get registered, show up every day. We're going to do some giveaways and all that's super fun. I love giving stuff away and giving presents. The greatest thing though is you start Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. You'll be, and the last one is Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, and you'll have a shift in your life. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. You'll have a shift in your life. There'll be something you'll be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And that's how you want to start that new year. You want to start January 3rd, like going, okay, what are the possibilities for this year? What is that new story I could be writing about my life? And we're going to talk about how to do that.
I'm going to be there, by the way. I've already signed up. I'm already there. I'm so excited about it.
Yes, I will too. Do you have any, do you choose any words for the new year?
I haven't picked my word yet. My words for 2021 were sovereignty and agency. And they were just reminders that we are the keepers of our own power. We are the choosers. And agency really is that we have this life experience we've been given is our territory. It's our queendom, if you will, and it's ours to design. And this is our power to wield in service to the things that matter to us. And so I just wanted to remind myself that and ground myself in those energies. So probably what I'll do is, as we're getting closer to New Year's, I will start meditating and just doing some writing and start thinking about what I want to call in for 2022 and what are those qualities. What are the qualities I want to call in? What's the energy I want to call in? And I'll design some mantras that I can use in the mornings and the evenings when I do my ceremonies, and I'll choose some words. I don't know. It might be 1, might be 5.
I love that.
I love that. I'm going to do the same thing. That's a
Yes.
good idea.
Yeah, the
Yes.
energy.
Get yourself ready. Let the universe help you choose those words.
It's vibration. Oh, all right. Well, are you up for a random Mark Groves card question?
Sure.
You tell me when to stop.
I love this.
Stop.
Okay. Where would you like to live and why?
Well, I really like where I live, which is Napa Valley. And I slowly but surely made my way here over a number of years. But I will say I've been getting curious about a little island called Nantucket. I haven't been there, but I'm getting curious. So I just wonder if there's some Nantucket in my future.
Ooh.
Oh, ooh.
Well, I've never been to Napa Valley. That's on my list.
Oh, it's so good. It's
Gotta
really
go
good.
check out the wineries and
Oh, it's so good.
countryside.
Yeah.
I love that.
Nantucket. Oh, Nantucket. Well, Sheri, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to?
No, I just want to say yay for the two of you. Good work. You're doing it. You're doing it. Your feet are on the path. I'm so happy for you. I'm so thrilled for you. And I think we should meet 1 year from today.
Absolutely.
I think we should meet 1 year from today and see what happened. We can reveal what happened to everybody.
I know. It's gonna be amazing.
So
Thank
amazing.
you for the gift that you've given, you know.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
Pleasure
I'm
to
putting my
talk
hands on my heart.
Yes.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Mm.
Ooh.
And
And happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Say Merry Christmas.
Merry
Big hug.
Christmas.
Bye, my friends.
Oh my gosh. We did it. How
Oh
was
my
it?
goodness. That was fantastic.
She's so good.
We were going to be in a room with Sheri sitting at a table and we just did it.
Yes.
That was a gift. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. I felt about the words.
Yeah, me too, actually. When she said that, I'm like, oh, because my word keeps changing, actually. Even,
Oh, really?
we talked about it last week or not, it's, I can already feel it like maybe this or, and I was like, one of my words is going to be, that's going to be my word.
Yes, I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe I might need to add a word. I like how she has, I remember her having us do, what was it, 10 words?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, I think I'm going to go through the course again, not the paid course, but I'm just going to rewatch everything and redo everything, like pretend like I'm in there.
I think that's a good idea.
So when they start, I was like, okay, I think I will I'll start too and see what happens.